At 3:17 a.m., I heard something I will never forget. Not thunder, not construction. The sound of everything you thought was solid just breaking apart above your head. I'm Specialist Jake Morrison, 103rd Sustainment Command, Army Reserve out of Iowa, 26 years old. 3 months ago, I was fixing tractors in Cedar Falls. Tonight, I'm sitting in what's left of Era Tower in Manama, Bahrain, trying to figure out how I'm still breathing when the ceiling above my bunk is just gone. They told us Bahrain was safe. Logistics hub, they said, away from the real fighting. You'll be processing supply requisitions and maintaining equipment, Morrison. Think of it as a working vacation in the Gulf. That's what Captain Weber told me when we got our deployment orders. A working vacation. I should have known better. Nothing about this war has been what they told us it would be. I grew up on a farm outside Waterloo, corn and soybeans far as you can see. My dad runs Morrison Agricultural Services. We repair farm equipment for half the county. I was supposed to take over the business eventually, get married to Sarah, my high school girlfriend, buy a house 3 blocks from where I grew up, have kids who'd play in the same little league I played in. Simple life, good life. But I needed the money. Army Reserve seemed like easy cash, 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Help pay for community college, maybe save up for a ring for Sarah. My recruiter never mentioned that reserve units get deployed just like active duty when things go sideways in the Gulf. I've been in Manama for 47 days. Era Tower became home, this converted hotel that houses about 200 American personnel. Mix of Army, Air Force, some contractors. It's not fancy, but it's secure. Or it was supposed to be secure. The Iranians had been hitting targets all week. Naval bases in Kuwait got hit hard. Lost 6 good soldiers from our own unit there. Boys I trained with back in Iowa. Tommy Chen, Mike Rodriguez, the Williams twins, Kevin O'Brien, and Danny Kowalski. Danny was supposed to be my best man next year, but Bahrain was different. Bahrain was safe. That's what intelligence kept telling us. Bahrain remains outside the primary target envelope. That's the exact phrase they used in yesterday's briefing. Primary target envelope, like war is geometry. I was dreaming about home when it happened, dreaming about the smell of diesel fuel and corn dust in Dad's shop, about Sarah's laugh when she thinks nobody's watching, about the way the sun looks coming up over the fields in October. Then the world exploded. The sound hits you first. Not like in movies where explosions are all bass and fire. This was sharp, metallic. Like someone took the biggest wrench in Dad's shop and smacked it against a steel grain silo, except amplified until it splits your eardrums. Then comes the pressure wave that feels like getting punched by the sky itself. I'm on the 14th floor, was on the 14th floor. The drone hit somewhere above us, maybe 16th or 17th. But the shock wave traveled down through the building like lightning through a fence post. Every window on our floor blew inward at once, glass everywhere. The emergency lighting kicked on, casting everything in this sick red glow. First thing I did was roll out of my bunk onto the floor. Training kicks in even when your brain is still trying to process what just happened. Get low, get to cover, check for injuries. I'm running through the checklist when I realize my roommate Davis isn't moving. Not dead, just frozen. Sitting up in his bunk staring at where our window used to be. His face is covered in tiny cuts from the glass, but he's not bleeding bad. He's just staring. Davis, I shake his shoulder. Davis, we gotta move. Nothing. Davis, he blinks. Looks at me like he's never seen me before. What the hell was that? We're under attack. Get your gear. That's when the smell hits. Not smoke like from a barbecue or a campfire. Chemical smoke. Plastic and metal and things that weren't supposed to burn all mixed together. It burns your throat before you even realize you're breathing it. The corridor outside our room is chaos. Emergency lighting casting long shadows that move and jump with every person running past. Some guys are in full gear already, others in just underwear and boots. Everyone's shouting, but nobody's saying anything useful. Where's the rally point? Did anyone see Jackson? My radio's not working. The stairwell's blocked on 15. Is this real? Is this actually happening? Sergeant Martinez appears out of the smoke like a ghost. Combat veteran, 3 tours in Syria. If anyone knows what to do, it's him. His uniform is torn and there's blood running down his left arm, but he's moving with purpose. Morrison, Davis, you two okay? Yes, Sergeant. Good. We're evacuating floors 10 through 20. Stairwell A is compromised. Stairwell B is our only way down. You see anyone who can't walk, you help them. You see anyone who's not moving, you check for pulse and vitals, but you do not stop if they're gone. We clear? Clear, Sergeant. Then move, now. The next 20 minutes feel like 20 hours. We're moving floor by floor, checking rooms, collecting personnel. Some doors won't open, whether from damage or because there's nobody left to open them, I don't know. Martinez won't let us waste time breaking them down. Floor 16 is where it hit. The drone, what's left of it, is embedded in what used to be the north wall. I can see straight through the building to the city lights beyond. The hole is maybe 12 feet across, edges all twisted metal and exposed rebar. There's debris everywhere. Chunks of concrete, twisted steel, pieces of what might have been furniture or might have been people. I can't tell. The smell up here is worse. Not just smoke now, but something else. Something organic, sweet and sick at the same time. Don't look, Martinez tells me when he sees me staring. Just keep moving. But I can't help it. This is what war actually looks like. Not the clean explosions and heroic speeches from movies. Just broken things and broken people, and that smell that's going to live in my nose for the rest of my life. We find Lieutenant Colonel Harrison on the 15th floor. He was apparently thrown from his bed by the blast and hit his head on his desk. Conscious but confused. Keep asking for his wife, Nancy, who's back in Virginia. Colonel, we need to move, Martinez says. Where's Nancy? Is Nancy okay? Nancy's safe, sir. She's not here. We're in Bahrain, remember? We need to get you downstairs. Bahrain? He looks around like he's seeing the place for the first time. What happened to the building? Iranian drone strike, sir. We're evacuating. That seems to snap something back into place. His eyes focus, and he nods. How many casualties? Still assessing, sir. Right. Carry on, Sergeant. Davis and I help the colonel to the stairwell. He can walk, but he's unsteady. Every few steps, he asks about Nancy again. Every few steps, Martinez explains where we are and what's happening. By the time we reach the 10th floor, it's like watching the same conversation happen over and over on repeat. The stairwell is a bottleneck. 200 people trying to funnel down a staircase designed for normal evacuation, not combat emergency. People are scared. People are hurt. People are carrying other people who are hurt worse. And everyone's trying to move at once. Stay calm, Martinez keeps saying. Stay organized. We're going to get everyone out. But I can see it in his eyes. He's not sure we're going to get everyone out. Neither am I. The smoke is getting thicker. The emergency lighting is starting to fail. Whole sections of stairwell going dark for minutes at a time. Someone below us is crying. Not sobbing, just this quiet, steady crying that echoes up through the darkness. My phone hasn't worked since the explosion. No signal, and even if there was, what would I say? Hey Sarah, Iranian drone just blew up my building. Might not make it home for our anniversary dinner. How do you put something like this in a text message? I keep thinking about the viral video Martinez mentioned. Someone out there caught the exact moment of impact. Probably some kid with a phone filming the skyline at 3 a.m. for TikTok or Instagram. Now it's evidence. Now it's history. Now it's proof that we were here when everything went wrong. We reached the lobby around 4:30 a.m. The front desk where I checked my mail every morning is crushed under a concrete beam. The windows that used to look out onto the street are just empty frames now. The street itself is full of emergency vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, military vehicles I don't recognize. Medics triage us as we come out. Quick check for obvious injuries, then you're either loaded into an ambulance or directed to a staging area in the parking lot. Davis gets taken to a hospital. Turns out some of those glass cuts were deeper than they looked. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison gets taken too, still asking about Nancy. I end up in the parking lot with maybe 60 other people who are walking and talking and not bleeding too much. We sit on the asphalt watching firefighters try to control the blaze on the upper floors. The drone hit around 3:17, but it's almost 5 a.m. now, and the fire is still spreading. That's when I see Captain Weber approaching with a clipboard and a satellite phone. The same Captain Weber who told me this would be a working vacation. His uniform is clean, his hair is combed. He wasn't in the building when it happened. "Morrison," he says. "You all right?" "Yes, sir." "Good. We're doing a preliminary head count. I need to know who was on your floor and who you saw get out." I give him the names I remember. Davis, in the hospital. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison, in the hospital. Sergeant Martinez, still inside helping with evacuation. Peterson, from room 1403. Haven't seen him since before the explosion. Williams, from 1407. Helped him down to the 8th floor. Lost track of him after that. "What about Kowalski, Johnson, Chen?" "Sir, those are the guys who died in Kuwait. They weren't here." He pauses, looks at his clipboard. Right, of course. Even the officers can't keep track anymore. Too many bases, too many attacks, too many people getting hurt in too many places. We're all just names on clipboards now. The sun comes up around 6 a.m., golden light cutting through the smoke and dust, making the whole scene look almost beautiful if you can ignore what you're looking at. Era Tower is still standing, but the upper floors are gutted. Black smoke still pouring out of windows that used to be someone's room. I'm sitting on a concrete barrier, watching the sunrise, when I realize I'm shaking. Not from cold, it's already 80 degrees, even this early. Just shaking because my body doesn't know how to process what just happened. 3 hours ago, I was asleep in a bed. Now I'm homeless in a foreign country, watching my building burn. A reporter shows up around 7 a.m., local Bahraini news crew with cameras and microphones. They want to interview survivors. Captain Weber tries to chase them away, but some of the guys talk anyway. I don't. What would I say? That we were told this place was safe? That 6 guys from my unit are already dead in Kuwait, and now this? I think about the video that's already going viral. Someone's 3 a.m. footage of our building exploding. Probably got 1 million views by now. People watching it over breakfast coffee, sharing it with friends, adding laughing emojis because they think it's special effects. They don't know about Davis sitting frozen in his bunk. They don't know about Lieutenant Colonel Harrison asking for Nancy. They don't know about the smell on the 16th floor, or the sound concrete makes when it breaks apart above your head. They just know what the headlines tell them. Iranian drone strikes U.S. facility in Bahrain. Clean, simple. No mention of what it feels like to wake up that way. By noon, they've set up temporary housing in a hotel downtown. Basic rooms, 2 people each. I'm paired with a guy named Thompson from the Air Force side. Nice enough guy, but he snores and he keeps the TV on all night. Local news running the same footage over and over. Our building exploding in slow motion. Our building exploding from 3 different angles. Our building exploding while news anchors speculate about Iranian capabilities and American response options. I turn the TV off. Thompson turns it back on. "Aren't you curious?" he asks. "Don't you want to know what happens next?" I know what happens next. More attacks, more dead soldiers whose names get confused on clipboards. More buildings that were supposed to be safe until they're not. What I don't know is how to explain this to Sarah when I finally get a phone call through. How to tell my dad that his son almost died in a place he can't pronounce for reasons nobody's been able to explain to me. How to write a letter to Danny Kowalski's parents explaining why he died in Kuwait while I survived in Bahrain. It's been 6 days since the attack. I'm still in that hotel room downtown, still shaking sometimes, still smelling smoke that isn't there, still hearing that sound, metal and concrete and everything solid just breaking apart. They're rebuilding Era Tower already, or trying to. Construction crews working around the clock to patch the hole where the drone hit, like it never happened, like we were never there. But I was there. At 3:17 a.m. on February 28th, 2026, I woke up to the sound of war coming through my window. I woke up to the reality that nowhere is safe, no matter what they tell you in briefings, no matter what promises they make about logistics hubs and working vacations. I keep thinking about that moment right before impact, when I was dreaming about home, about corn dust and diesel fuel and Sarah's laugh, about a life that feels like it belongs to someone else now. They say we'll be redeployed within the week. New base, new housing, new briefings about how this next place is secure, how this next place is different, how this next place is safe. I don't believe them anymore. Tomorrow they say the situation is stabilizing. Tomorrow they say we'll have better intelligence, better defenses, better preparations. Tomorrow they say it gets better. I don't know if I'll record another one of these.